Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Endgame Recap, your favorite podcast that recaps the week's gaming news, thoughts, reflections, so on and so forth. I'm your host, Kyle Stalock. It is February 2nd, 21st. Reading the two wrong on the date. Why is it backwards? Why is it in Europe? February 21st, 2025. How are you doing? You made it to the end of the week. And if you have no more responsibilities throughout the day, you know what? Go grab a beer really quick. Even if it's the morning, go grab, just one is not going to hurt, okay? You're not an alcoholic for having one on your time off, right? In the morning, do it. Trying to help people, be the best, worst version of themselves. I don't know. We got nothing right here, right now. I'm feeling a little kind of loopy, if you will. I just did 3 hours of Marvel Rivals, 5v5, 6v6, I can't remember. And I think I lost 6 or 7 matches, maybe one or two, and had one draw. Sometimes I'm going to blame my teammates here. It is 100% their fault. Nothing is my fault in an esports game. I'm only good. I only perform at my best, which is the highest level any human could possibly aspire to. Always. So clearly it is not my teammates' fault. I'm just kind of giddy because I got some funny clips out of it. And so in the end, it was okay. And I posted one of them right before recording this, and I got some more that I'm going to be posting. But it was worth it. So it was fun doing that this afternoon. Did a lot of work on the old job search. This podcast doesn't pay enough money yet, ladies and gentlemen, yet. So that's always fun, but productive day. Now we're doing the podcast, and oh boy, I got a lot to say here today, and I hope you are ready to listen. So the first thing that I wanted to get into, so I have some fresh YouTube accounts that I'm using right now for this podcast and all the content that I'm creating, and I'm recommended, like, it hasn't figured me out yet as a person or a gamer, but it's recommending me some like really common or well-known gaming influencers and content, and the number one person it's recommending is one of the most toxic, negative gamers around. And I wasn't clicking on any of this individual stuff, but I noticed that a lot of the content that YouTube was recommending me on this fresh account, maybe they can find a way to connect it with me or whatever, but it's just a lot of toxic gamer stuff. Now, I don't watch a lot of that content. I just see clips once in a while. I see little articles coming about, and once in a while I'll dive into it, but I watch an overwhelmingly amount of video game commentary, developer talks, that type of thing. So my gaming algorithm is typically in one direction. But there's a few things that really I wanted to talk about, and I kind of covered this last week too, but number one, that's not good that people are being recommended this type of toxic gamer stuff. It may get the clicks, but it's not what I want people to see about gaming. I don't want casual gamers to be recommended this type of stuff of this person who, they profit a lot off this industry, but they seem to be tearing it down a lot. And that person's toxicity specifically was one of the reasons why I wanted to start getting my voice out there, because I love this industry and I cannot imagine tearing it down that often. The second thing I want to get into why it's concerning is because the general proliferation of these individuals who are so toxic on this industry, it's just a sign that this is kind of leaning on the first thing, but the algorithms are poor and they need to be fixed. Don't just give people toxicity. Try and lift them up a little bit. I guarantee the toxicity may get the clicks, but it's not creating that long-term value that a lot of these places need. And I just get worried that type of behavior is okay. There's some people that put everything they have for years of their lives into this industry, and for it to be kind of a game to tear down this art and to tear down this industry that we love so much. for lack of a better word, I think it's disappointing. So hopefully we can support each other, people that are making positive content. I'm not saying myself necessarily, but if there's anyone out there that you like and you follow and you watch 10 times more of their content than mine, that's terrible of you. Go and support it. Go and push it out, and do what you can. We gotta drown out those toxic voices and those toxic fans. Okay. Anyway, speaking of which, here's an angle on all this I wanted to mention. It's kind of a grift. It's kind of a grift to be constantly anti-DEI and constantly pointing at the other and constantly blaming other people. It's a lot harder to create something new. It's a lot harder to look for the truth in things, and it's a lot harder to show patience. So when I see an article like this pop up, I just think this is more in that vein of grifters. And here's what it says. Sony's $400 million misfire, why the video game industry is facing a Bud Light moment. And that almost sounds like it's written by AI. Take a bunch of topical things. Sony, $400 million, lots of money. Why the video game industry? Okay, got it. That's going to pick up a lot. Bud Light moment. Yeah, there you go. It immediately tells people of a certain ilk how they should feel about this type of thing. Because it's not true. A game that costs $400 million does not fail because it was anti-woke. Or it was woke. And the anti-woke crew is not killing it because of that. It's not. A game's not going to fail because it's anti-woke either. You not necessarily if it's $400 million, because I guarantee their audience that they go after with $400 million type of budget behind it, they've done the math. And people are not buying games, especially games that cost $400 million in development budget, just because they have a woke sensibility. It just doesn't make sense. But it gives these people a talking point, right? This game had any game these days that has a character that's LGBT, it's female, it's a person of color. The reason is always going to be woke for a lot of these people. But just be aware of this grift. It's awful. It's insufferable. I'm tired of it. Speaking of grifters, do you want to talk about LinkedIn lunatics one more time? So we should dabble on that once more. And a confession here. I got baited into something last week. I saw there are people that I know that subscribe to the anti-woke mentality, and they love applying it to the video game industry and talking about it. All these people are white. So I commented on something. Someone said they were basically yelling at other gamers. They're a CEO of a company. They're yelling at other gamers, and they said, "What's wrong with you? Any game should have as much loot boxes as they want. It's the woke mob that's attacking this. There's no science behind it. There's no data." And I came in and I was like, I disagree. We should do a better job of protecting people from addictions, not preying on people. And, if there's young people playing these games that have loot boxes, it's our responsibility to make sure that they are taken care of, right? That we're not taking advantage of kids and, just doing them a disservice. And he's like, I completely disagree. It should be up to the game maker. And if they want to do that, then that's, on them. And then I replied, I'm just feeling bad about this. Why aren't we talking more about the kids? Let's protect the kids. Here's some information and all this stuff. And he didn't respond, and no one else responded. That happens a lot of the time when you use data and you say, hey, here's data. Let's use this data to protect kids. It often shuts up a lot of these arguments. I saw a news article this week that said loot box virtual rewards associated with gambling and video game addiction. And this is from medicalexpress.com. It said a new study of more than 1,400 adults who gamble and play online video games has found loot box buying is associated with real-world gambling, video gaming addiction, and other mental health issues. Now, I'm definitely someone that is a fan of calling or saying that video gaming addiction can exist. Unfortunately, it's a double-edged sword. While I don't believe it's as pervasive as a lot of people say, in order to unlock a certain amount of treatment dollars worldwide that would be necessary to help people curb their habits, it has to be classified as an addiction. So, it's one of those things that you can't have both, apparently, in today's society. It says the international research published in Computers and Human Behavior brings new insights into the loot box phenomenon. The virtual items offered in video games to give players random rewards, including weapons, cosmetics, or skins. The new research, carried out in collaboration between Flinders University, Nottingham Trent University, the University of Gibraltar, and the ELTE Eötvös Loránd University. I'm sorry, I can't talk, in Hungary, also points out that while anxiety and impulsive tendencies are associated with significant strengthening of relationships between risky loot buying and gambling symptoms, depression showed mixed effect. Overall, the results suggest that, at least to some extent, loot box buying shares similar mental health risk factors with other behavioral addictions. When it comes to loot boxes, players usually spend real-world money to get random virtual items, which may or may not yield a reward. So many experts are already calling for loot box buying to be regulated by existing gambling laws. Interestingly, see, folks, I can't talk. English is hard. Tendency towards problematic gambling is similar in studies examining internet gaming disorder, which often has an association with comorbid problems, including anxiety, depression, and stress. So, yeah, you know what? If there's even an inkling of something as dangerous as that, we should curb it, right? Surely the brilliant, genius level people working at these publishers making billions of dollars can find alternative means to sell users' products. They're so smart. Why wouldn't they be able to figure it out? All right, so there's another thing. This is going to connect a lot of dots that we just went through. So toxic gamers, right? Toxic influencers. So I saw one of them put a video out on YouTube. It said, Microsoft is cooked. I assume it was largely about the news item that came out this week or recently that said Xbox sales hit rock bottom after historic 2024 decline. It says its worst full year performance in Xbox history. The numbers in Europe are staggeringly worse with an estimated 290,000 units sold over the year. That's all of 2024, and in the US it was 2.7 million units. That's just under 3 million total units sold in US and Europe. Not good, while the PlayStation 5 is going up. And those numbers are down from 2023. It was 3.8 million units in the US and 550,000 in Europe, for a combined 4.35 million. So from 4.35 in 2023 to 3 million in 2024. And then that's a 42% drop in Xbox hardware revenue. Now, one thing that you have to look at, the people are saying, lack of killer apps, decline, competition's heating up. But you also have to look at their business model a little bit. Game Pass has recently hit 30 million subscribers. So that might have reduced the people's need for hardware purchases. With Game Pass, you can play a lot of Xbox games on PC. I know a lot of people that only do Game Pass on PC. My wife is one of them. There's a lot of other reasons too. Game Pass, you can have that on, I think, TVs now. And Microsoft is also moving over to a different business model with like cloud gaming. You can play Xbox through your TV, through your phone, I believe through your phone. And they're pursuing a much less console centric model. Their view of the industry is that, you know, ubiquity is going to be the big thing for them. And they haven't said, you know, if that's the way, but they said that's our way forward through this. So in a way, the console wars have been over for a long time. And yeah, they haven't had a strong title slate in the last year. It was pretty empty, actually. They don't have a lot of the big tentpole stuff they usually have. I think Avowed came out this week. That seems to be getting received really well. It's like more magic. It's like Fallout mixed with Skyrim, but by a different company. The company that made Fallout New Vegas. So go check that out. I was having a lot of fun with that. I was really excited today to record a lot of clips with Marvel Rivals so I can actually play Avowed instead and not worry about, do I have enough content for social media, which is a thing. Okay, here's something really funny. Oh no! Oh, they deleted it. I should have held on to it. It was, check out these wonderful American names from a 90s Japanese video game. And it was like Henry Tailpipe and Jeff McCheeseburger and stuff like that. So culturally, the West and the East have not been particularly accurate or sensitive to each other. There was a character in Punch-Out. I think, was the English translation in the US or was it in Japan? In Punch-Out, Japanese character's name was Piston Honda, and a Russian character's name was Soda Popinski. So culturally, you know, don't look through all that with a 2025 lens. You'll exhaust yourself. So here's a small news, maybe just a fun fact, but so every game, not every game, but a lot of games when they're made, they have a lot of code names. Avowed, the one we talked about a little bit ago, that developer they use states, and I don't know why this was funny to me, but I'm still laughing about it, and I've had this open for a week. Avowed's code name was Alabama Game. And if you're not from Alabama, or maybe you are, I think Alabama really inspires a lot of creative thoughts. So I just wanted to share that with you. What's your creative thought on what Alabama Game would be? This is a really cool piece of news. Valve releases full Team Fortress 2 game code to encourage new free versions. So people can, for a long time, Valve has been really cool about stuff. They've been probably the most forward-thinking company in the gaming world. People have made items in Team Fortress for a long time. I still get residuals on some that I have. And Valve released what's called Source Filmmaker that allows people to use the in-game models to create short films, and it completely changed the video game film asset landscape on YouTube overnight. And in general, people have created some amazing stuff. They should really release like a channel or something about that, like something that you can watch on like Amazon, right? Little short films about the games. Don't actually contract someone out to do like a TV show. Just do some of these shorts. They're good enough. Anyway, Valve is releasing the full game code of Team Fortress 2. People can mess around with it. They can make independent games. I believe what they did is it says unlike the Steam Workshop or local content mods, this SDK gives mod makers the ability to change, extend, or rewrite TF2, making anything from small tweaks to complete conversions possible. But it restricts any resulting projects to a non-commercial basis. But brilliant. This game's, 17 years old at this point? Maybe more. Why not release the full code like that at this point? It still has a lot of people playing it, but this will probably increase the lifetime of the game even more. And what a great gift to the community. So I can't wait to see what people create. It's going to be a blast. This might be a whole new life for Team Fortress 2 that surges bigger than ever. We'll see. And maybe people will create games with the Team Fortress 2 code that they will then translate to full titles that they can make money from. Wouldn't that be cool? All right, here's one. Anybody got a dog? If you do, think about it, look at it, and even hug it if you can right now. It says the 10 best video game dog companions, and this is totally clickbait. I clicked it. I love stuff like this. It's on DualShockers. Go check it out. Number 10 says Rush from Mega Man 3, the robot dog. Number 9 is Huey from Haunting Ground. I don't think I know that one. From 2005. Don't know it. Looks cute. Cool. Number 8, D-Dog from Metal Gear Solid 5. He was great. You'd be sneaking around Afghanistan, that's where it's at, as a super spy, you know, in the military. And you could tell your dog to go jump on people, go fetch things. It was really cool. Be a distraction. Number 7, Dog Meat from Fallout 4. Dog Meat was great. He was a companion, kind of the similar way. He could carry stuff, help you with quests. Dog Meat has been in pretty much every Fallout. Number 6, Boney from Mother 3. Never played it. Super Nintendo RPG. Oh no, this was Nintendo Game Boy Advance apparently. Well, look at how much I know. This one says Otachi from Pikmin 4. A game where you're a tiny little man, a spaceman, and you have these little creatures that are about the size of a fingernail or smaller, and you can command them, like 100 of them, and they will murder little bugs. They will gather things for you. They will do different things. They will dig lots of stuff. Apparently there's a dog in there, a tiny little dog that you can ride. Didn't know that. This one's Persona 3, Koromaru. I don't play those games. I hear they're good. It's turn-based, it's cartoony. Cool. Hero's Dog, Fable 2. Yeah. Okay, I got a little story for this one. So in Fable 2, did I say Halo 2? My bad. In Fable 2, you get this dog that's with you for basically your whole life, from like a kid to an adult and everything. And in between, and the dog, you know, gets older. And at one point in the game, you get captured for years. And your character gets older. And the whole time I kept thinking, where's the dog? Where's the dog? What's going on with the dog? Is it okay? And when I finally escaped and returned home, the dog was there waiting for me. He was waiting for me, and he had this special animation. He was so excited to see me. And, oh my God, at the end of the game, I don't know if this was because of my path through the game, but the villain was about to shoot. He shot me with a gun, but before he did, the dog jumped in front of it. The dog dies. I believe that's this game. And it was very sad, very poignant and beautiful moment. I cared about that dog. I'm hitting stuff on my desk right now because out of frustration. So if you hear anything in the background, that's what that is. I'm so sorry if it's bothering you, but I was emotional during that time. So I saw this list and I was like, what could be number 1? What could top that? So number 2 says Repeat, Tales of Vesperia. Didn't play that. An Japanese RPG, cartoony. Yep. Now this one, it says number 1, Missile, Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective. I have no idea about that. It says he's quite smart for a dog, though he also can't obey, but obey his instincts to bark at anything that catches his attention. He ends up being killed by an assassin that takes Camilla hostage, but thanks to Sissel, his spirit persists, and 2 of them undo his death. Missile comes and goes throughout the story, sometimes alive and sometimes a spirit, but he's always down to offer a helping paw when he shows up. Cool. I guess that meant a lot to you. You're clearly wrong with your opinion. My opinion's better, and Fable 2 is probably the best one that I can remember. All right. I saw this one later than after I did the script, and I forgot to put it in here, so forgive me. It was supposed to be up there about the anti-DEI stuff, but GameStop, it announced plans to sell off French and Canadian outlets while its CEO yells about wokeness and DEI in bizarre, self-defeating promotion. So listen to this. Where is it? It says, an SEC filing made in February last year stated GameStop had a total of 332 stores in France and 203 retail outlets in Canada. No specific reason was given for the sale, but in a bizarre statement on X, GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen seemed to take issue with the progressive nature of both countries, requesting emails from individuals interested in, quote, buying GameStop Canada or Micromania France. Cohen added that high taxes, I'm laughing so hard I can't even talk again. Liberalism, socialism, progressivism, Progressivism. Wokeness and DEI included at no additional cost if you buy today. Really? Really, you're going to go there? You're going to say that it was DEI? Anyway. Sounds like you're pointing the finger. You know, if I was a part of that person's investment group or board of directors and the CEO was ranting and raving that our business is losing money because of wokeness, when I've been in the gaming industry for a long time, I can't connect wokeness, what people would say is wokeness, with the death of GameStop. So if I was in that board of directors, I'd immediately ask for that person to be removed as CEO and question their sanity, because clearly they're not thinking straight, and they're not thinking with the they're not thinking with the best interests of the business in mind. It sounds like they're just making things worse. Okay, this one, I say I'm a lot between them, sorry. It says, games and game genres that you like to play and now you don't. It says, I used to play rally games 20 years ago, all of them, even the less known. Now I just can't. It got to the point I couldn't play anything that wasn't open world racing. Now I don't even play open world ones. I just cannot accept you're forced to be in a vehicle for a whole game. Now, when it's a regular open world game, but with cars, this I can play into eternity and I love it. Also, what's even stranger, if it's an open world but without vehicles, I'd rather not play it. It needs some sort of transportation. I cannot just walk around. So I think this is really interesting, because this person is basically saying, like, their interests have either changed or they're becoming more fine-tuned and nuanced. One second. As we grow, we change. The way we interact with the medium changes for sure. And I think there's more options now. I think a lot of the time, some of us played the games that we played were because there was nothing else. You beat everything, or you beat the swath of games. Now the proliferation is so high that you can indulge on a particular thing more often than maybe you could in the past, with more variety too. Other people said online FPS games on PC, fuck the game cheats industry. Modern military FPS, there's no innovation. Beat 'em ups, I just don't like any of them anymore. Open world games that tout, oh my god, we are so big, like 4x the size of our last game. And they say it's just filled with like nothing in there. A lot of people saying competitive games, anything grindy, Japanese RPGs, fighting games. So kind of a little bit of everything. But I'd say more than anything in here, it says competitive games. So speaking of the opposite of competitive games, co-op games. I love them. If I could say there's one genre of game that I love more than any, it's co-op. A good co-op game, playing with your friends, doing something together. The more special someone can be or feel as to their contribution, the better. I love this game called Abiotic Factor, because if you don't like to attack enemies, you don't have to do that. You can pick a perk that makes you totally weak, but you stay at the base the whole time and you just build stuff for the team. It's lovely. That's not what I do, but my wife does it and she has a lot of fun. So co-op games. So this company that came out with, I can't remember what the game was called. It Takes Two. And they came out with another one the year before, but their whole thing is co-op games. They believe that there need to be really great games where people can sit right next to each other and play it. Front to back, same couch, same TV, same Xbox, that type of thing. And they're also aware that there are people that can't do that, but they can play with their friend, their long distance friend. They also understand the pain and the expense of having to buy 2 copies. So this company, what do they do every time? They come out with a friend's pass. So just one person needs to buy the game, and they can send the friend pass to the other person, and they can play both of them in those co-op sessions. It's lovely. It's brilliant. More companies need to do this. They are committed to it. It seems very end user friendly, and they're starting to build a great reputation with users for being this way. So remember, we talked about long-term value. This is a great example of that. More companies need to understand that long-term value. All right, so 2 more here. Marvel Rivals surpassed 40 million players. Tomorrow's patch adds NVIDIA DLSS 4 and AMD Radeon anti-lag 2. So Marvel Rivals came out. Big competitor to Overwatch. No one knew how it was going to be. Lots of people said there's no way you can come in there. There's no way they can make a game as good as Overwatch. That's Blizzard. There's other people said it's going to kill Overwatch overnight, because why would you play Overwatch when you can play as Wolverine, Magneto, all those types of characters. So it came out, 40 million players. Pretty cool to see. Unfortunately, they laid off some people recently, to the contention of a lot of people in the gaming industry, and I think it made some mainstream news too. But this is a big deal, this article, for 2 reasons. So 40 million players. Holy crap, game is a success. We don't know how much revenue it's bringing in, because obviously it's a free-to-play game, but I'm sure it's a lot. I'm sure you can do the math on that. Second reason you should care: NVIDIA DLSS 4, and AMD Radeon anti-lag 2. So that means with DLSS, the game can look better using the same hardware. It's this thing using AI, I believe, to make frames look better. And it can also increase accessibility to potentially more people that have maybe lower end machines, and they can render the frames and all that. And more anti-lag, the better when it's effective. Lag, of course, being the time it takes for you to press a button and the online game to register that. So great. It's the TLDR, the game's big, and it's going to be better with more people, and it's going to look better too, maybe, and more people might be able to play it because of the frame generation stuff. There you go. So last one here. Okay. We usually end every podcast, ladies and gentlemen, with a happy story. Something that lifts the spirit, that we can all hold hands together and celebrate the beauty of the gaming industry. Not today. This is just for the haters of cheaters. This is for the people that relish when karma happens. So it says Epic sues Fortnite cheater, donates his winnings to charity, forces him to publicly apologize, bans him for life, and all but sends him to his room without dinner. So it says Epic has settled with a dirty, rotten cheater who made off with a chunk of cash from the 2023 Fortnite Championship Series, making them return the prize and post an apology video to their YouTube channel. Sadly, the player in question, who in a bout of nominative determinism goes by the handle Morgan Repulsegod Bamford, didn't have the stones to deliver their apology in person, choosing instead to post a 15-second video of text that reads, "Hey everyone, this is Repulsegod. I shared my Epic Games account with another user, Forbes, to qualify for the 2024 Fortnite Championship Series Grand Finals. My actions violated Epic's rules and I was disqualified from the tournament. Epic took legal action against me and now I'm banned from participating in Fortnite tournaments forever. I also have to pay a monetary settlement, which includes the prize money I received but did not win fairly, which Epic will donate to charity." It says, "Cheating in tournaments ruins the fun for the players who earn their spot in tournaments, and I apologize to the Fortnite community for my actions. I won't ever cheat in Fortnite again." It's great. I'd love to see that. Cheating is prevalent everywhere in games right now, and it's too much. This one says, "Cheating is never a strat." Begins a post on the official Fortnite competitive X account. "We took legal action against a player who shared their account to unfairly qualify for FNCS. Now they're banned from Fortnite tournaments forever, and their undeserved prize money was donated to charity." And this community quote says, "If every game developer sued and publicly shamed their cheaters, we would get this industry cleaned up in 6 months." It's a bit optimistic, as the article says, but it would be nice to put to the test, don't you think? We need to bring back shame when people do bad things. We need to make the bad people hide again, don't we, everybody? All right. That's the podcast for the week. Whew, I don't know what happened to me there. It's almost like real world news is bleeding into the gaming news, and everybody. So that's the podcast. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Go subscribe to our Twitch. It's at Real Good there. And go see us on all the channels. Comment and like on things. Share it. Tell everybody in your family about it. Tell your loved ones. Tell your partner. or partners. I don't know how you swing. Tell your dog, your cat, your gerbil, your grandma, your grandpa, the twice removed folks, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. Go tell them about it. Get the word out about the best damn gaming podcast around. It's no hyperbole. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you next week. Bye.